We are just minutes away now as we get closer and closer to a milestone for this year. The liftoff of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. It's going to launch the Dragon Crew capsule with 2 astronauts on board into orbit to reach up and connect with the International Space Station. Our Chris Warren is live in Cape Canaveral right now. You're at Port Canaveral, I believe, and we are just minutes away from liftoff. All signs are pointing to a go right now. We just had the engine chill take place prior to launch. The Dragon transitioning to internal power now. And then as we head towards 1 minute out, command flight will begin its final pre-launch check. So we have made it farther today than we did Wednesday, and we just have a few minutes to go. 3:22 Eastern time, just 2 minutes away from launch. Let's bring in meteorologist Chris Warren. We've got Dr. Paul Sutter, an astrophysicist, as we're getting ready for that launch. Incredible to think that this is going to be happening right before our very eyes. Weather conditions could be the last thing to hold this up. And it's incredible to me, Dr. Sutter, that we have the technology that they could still stop this with about 5 seconds left, if necessary.
That's right. This rocket is being checked and rechecked as the fueling is complete, as the chill down happens, as all the internal systems come online. Everything is checked and double checked and triple checked. And the whole thing is set up to abort
Stage 2
on a
load is
dime.
closed out. Propellant fills are complete. Dragon is in auto idle.
Can we see the clock? All right, there you can see the live images. You can see we're just a few seconds away from liftoff right now. Asking the control room if we can see that countdown clock so we can see our progress as we're waiting down to the final minute. Looks like we're about 30 seconds away right now, 30 seconds away from launch. Let's continue to listen in.
Falcon 9 is in startup. Dragon is in countdown. FTS is armed for launch. Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
SpaceX Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
Vehicle pitching downrange.
1 Alpha.
Copy. 1 Alpha.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal. Falcon power and telemetry nominal. M1D throttle down.
Vehicle is supersonic.
M1D throttle up.
Max Q.
1 Bravo.
Copy. 1 Bravo.
Start of MVAC engine chill. M1D throttle down. Pico.
2 Alpha.
Falcon stage separation confirmed.
Copy 2 Alpha.
MVAC ignition.
Acquisition of signal lofts.
Stage 2 propulsion is nominal.
Dragon SpaceX nominal trajectory.
And there you have it. Launch successful. Bob Behnken,
SpaceX
Doug
Dragon,
Hurley,
nominal trajectory.
the first 2 American astronauts to take off from U.S. soil in almost a decade. I have chills right now. We want to bring in meteorologist Chris Warren. We've got Dr. Paul Sutter, an astrophysicist. It looks like everything is going along as planned. The first and second stages have separated right now. Second stage engine starting up, and we're getting ready for the first stage entry burn. What is your reaction, Dr. Sutter?
Yeah, chills is the perfect word. When they started the engine chill down, I felt like my insides, my heart was chilling along with it. To see it light up, to see it go, to see it appear absolutely flawless and smooth. The stage 1 and then the separation stage 2, the most dangerous, the most critical part of the mission, the liftoff, happened, and
Dragon
they're in
SpaceX
space.
nominal trajectory.
And so far, we're doing it.
I wasn't so sure this was going to happen today, so this is exciting. It's very encouraging. What's the next step?
So the next step is going to be orbiting the Earth as they catch up with the International Space Station in its orbit, and then finally a very delicate zero-gravity dance as they dock together.
And that's all supposed to be happening autonomously now.
Absolutely. The astronauts are just aboard for the ride. Computers, software are all handling this mission. They're there in case something goes wrong. But SpaceX has already launched multiple missions to the International Space Station with only cargo, and those were fully robotic.
All right. Talk to us a little bit about how technology has changed over the years.
One of the common quips is that we sent the astronauts to the moon. The actual computer hardware that they had in their spacecraft is outmatched by a pocket calculator today. Like the amount of computing power in your smartphone is more than all the computing power we had throughout the entire 1960s. And so now here we are in 2020, where there's no human involvement, there's no human interaction. These orbits, these trajectories, these launches are very, very tricky, very precise things. But this is exactly what computers are good at, especially if they have really powerful computers with lots of sensors and lots of connections to satellites and ground stations and telemetry and everything. So the ability to turn the actual operation of this mission and future missions over to largely to autonomous computers is a major windfall. It's a major game because it's just one more thing that makes it easier to get to space.
Yeah, NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine compared this to like flying an iPhone or flying a Tesla, that everything is touchscreen and everything is computer. And it's somewhat similar, I suppose, in a way to flying just a regular jet, an airliner, that everything is now automatic, but the pilots still have the capability, if they need to maneuver things on their own. And that's one of the things they're going to be testing and watching, I know, on this mission.
Yes, that's exactly right. We are constantly testing. I believe the astronauts will be taking over sometimes to just test that transition from automated robotics to human control and back to make sure that works. But yeah, hand it to SpaceX. The design of the capsule, the design of the spacesuits, the interior of the cockpit, everything, it looks like the future is here.
So it looks like we're past the 7-minute stage now, and we should be seeing that first stage entry burn that's been taking place. And just after about 8 minutes or so, the second stage engine cutoff should begin. How long is this trip to the International Space Station?
The whole trip, even though this launch sequence is only a dozen minutes long or so, once they're in orbit, it's going to take hours, about 19 hours before they finally catch up with the International Space Station.
That is a long ride. I don't imagine there'll be any sleep taking place along that 19-hour trip.
Maybe there'll be a nap here and there, but I suppose if you're in orbit, there's a few other things to keep you busy and entertained.
And how long does the docking process take?
Really, the docking process has started already. The entire launch of this mission, why there was such a narrow window for the launch, was to enable it to catch up to the ISS. If we push the launch back by just a few minutes, they would never reach the International Space Station with their orbit with the nominal orbital insertion. So that's why the launch windows were so very, very narrow. But the whole mission was designed from literally the ground up to catch up with the International Space Station over the next 19 hours. There'll be little tweaks and twists as they get closer and closer. The actual docking procedure will take about an hour.
And once they've been docked, they can't board right away.
No, absolutely not. So there's going to be some checks to make sure you're taking one thing that just left the Earth with something that's been in space for a long time. They're going to connect. There are going to be more than one test to make sure that docking is secure, make sure everything is secure before they actually open the hatch and shake hands.
All right, we already have one American aboard the International Space Station. So Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley will be joining them on this mission. And it's unknown how long they're going to be up there. They're saying anywhere between 1 month and 4 months. And what will be taking place during that time?
Right. So the astronauts on board the International Space Station do a variety of things. Their primary mission is to run the science experiments that are on board. These are experiments, everything from biology to seeing how seeds and plants and living creatures grow and evolve in zero gravity, to testing experiments on themselves, on how the human body reacts to zero gravity. There are astrophysics experiments looking for micrometeoroids and cosmic rays on board this space station. There's almost every branch of science is somehow represented on the space station.
Just incredible. We've got 45 seconds before we have to hit a break. I hear that science experiments could go up 300% just because we are sending them now from U.S. soil and the capabilities that this is going to be opening up. So stay with us, Dr. Sutter, through the commercial break. You're looking right now at video that took place just moments ago where the Falcon 9 rocket lifted off the Crew Dragon capsule into space. Weather conditions clear just in time. There were showers and thunderstorms in the vicinity. Those faded out and moved off, and we were able to have a successful launch today.
Tremfya helps adults with moderate to severe plaque